Truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I self-lord and master Islam. Thank you for tuning into the video. Thank you for those who've been supporting, my sharing of information. And before I continue, my little caveat, because I just want to go straight into this. But before I give my caveat, honors to the Creator for giving me the opportunity, the life, the breath to do this. Honors and praise to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who founded the Moorish Science Temple of America in 1913, assisting and uplifting fallen humanity, teaching Moors to be themselves, all right? So with that being said, caveat, the following is not for legal, medical, or financial purposes. If you need that type of assistance, I strongly encourage you get that. But there's nothing like knowing what you're getting yourself into, okay? Know thyself. And in this instance, we're going to know thy health. So this portion of information is strictly for educational, informational, and mildly entertaining purposes only, okay? I'm this guy, all right? Master and bachelor. Master of Oriental Medicine, Bachelor of Natural Health Sciences, So, and I'm certified, okay? Am I licensed? No. What's my belief on the license? Go back to some of my older videos, treaties, laws, titles, that type of thing. You'll see what my belief is on what licenses are and what they do to practitioners, okay? They prevent practitioners from being able to give the best quality, care that they can, all right? Because they're being regulated by the state and by the licensing bureau to tell them what they can and cannot do, okay? Now, you can do certain things, but you just can't publicly advertise that you do those things. So this is a private information, all right? So let's get into this, all right? Today, we're going to continue on with our introduction into traditional Chinese medicine, or as I like to call it, traditional Asiatic medicine. All right, brought to you in part by Moors Temple of Light and Moors Holistic Massage. That's right. Lotus in Hand Therapy is now evolved. I don't want to say converted. It has evolved into its greater, into its higher purpose. Okay, so we're going to get into 5-element theory, a little yin-yang theory, and how to go about protecting ourselves. So before we get into the health aspects of this, just want to go ahead and just remind you, let's put ourselves into this alignment with the Creator, and so I'm going to read some information where, from the 101s for Moorish children, 101 questions for Moorish children, all right? I'm only going to do 7, or maybe 10, maybe 9, we'll see. No, we'll just do 7. Question 1, who made you? Allah. Question 2, who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Question 3, can we see Him? No. Question 4, where is the nearest place we can meet Him? In the heart. Question 5, who is Noble Drew Ali? He is Allah's prophet. Question 6, what is a prophet? A prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in the flesh. Question 7, what is the duty of a prophet? To save nations from the wrath of Allah. All right? So, let's go back to question 1 real quick. Who made you? Allah made you. The Creator made you. If you're not, if Allah doesn't vibe with you, that's okay. Replace Allah with whatever name you know to be, or to assign to your Creator, whether that be Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, God, Yahweh, Yah, whichever, all these names still express that a divine source of energy created us in its image and in its likeness, okay? So if we are in that image and likeness, question 7, what is the duty of a prophet? To save nations from the wrath of Allah. Then nations are made up of individuals, which create communities, which create states, which create a community of states, which becomes a body politic, aka a nation, all right? In which a nation is a noun, a person, place, or thing, not a description. Okay, so I hope you're following me where it is that I'm going. I'm aligning ourselves within the spiritual aspects of all life. That way, and from that perspective, we can always move forward unchallenged, because spirituality, recognized as religion, is what saves us. It's our saving grace. It really is, okay? So, and if you got a thorough understanding of your spirituality, then you can use your spirituality to impact your rights as a patient or as a practitioner. Okay, so let's talk about this Patient's Bill of Rights, which was adopted in 1995. All patients should be guaranteed the following freedoms, and there are a bunch of them. Okay, but I'm just going to read a couple. 1, to seek consultation with the physician of their choice. 2, to contract with the physician on mutually agreeable terms. 3, to be treated confidentially, with access to their records limited to those involved in their care or designated by the patient. 4, to use their own resources to purchase the care of their choice. 5, to refuse medical treatment even if it is recommended by their physicians. 6, to be informed about their medical conditions, the risks and benefits of treatment, and appropriate alternatives. 7, to refuse third-party interference in their medical care and to be confident that their actions in seeking or declining medical care will not result in third-party imposed penalties for patients or physicians. So Patient's Bill of Rights also protect the physicians, okay? Because as a physician, if you have been certified or educated as a physician in some formal capacity, I'm not just giving you something that like I just read up in a library, which used to be the argument that I used to face on a regular basis about 7 years ago. So you see, this is a 7-year-long process of growth, all right? And I only gave you 7 of these Patient Bill of Rights, okay? Which, if you have the right to be informed, and you have the right to choose a physician of your choice, if you feel like choosing a physician of your choice that is recognized within your spiritual practice, like, say for example, if you were a member of the Moore Science Temple of America and we needed a physician, a doctor of Oriental medicine, or a massage therapist that actually does medical massage therapy, healing hands, then anything is basically possible. You just have to know what your complementary alternative forms of medicine are. Look that up if you're not familiar with it. Let's keep going, okay? So we're in alignment with our Creator. We're in alignment with the law, right? We always want to be honorable. We always want to be in alignment with the law, all law, Allah. We're making little connections. Okay, so making stronger connections. If you need further evidence or how to stand on your square in regards to what to study, you might want to look into your Holy Quran, chapters 36, chapters 35, chapters 24, chapters 23, chapter 22. Those are some good chapters, okay? You also might want to look into the Morocco-America Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because if anyone is violating, they are violating the treaty for Moors. If you know yourself to be a Moor, you don't have to have declared it, but you understand that you are an indigenous being or from just any of the adjoining islands of this continental landmass. Nationality, baby. All right? Zodiac Constitution for Moors in the continental landmass, or what's the corporation of the United States, okay? You want to use your Zodiac Constitution, specifically Article 4 for employment, adequate employment and protection for Moorish Americans, written by C.M. Bay. That book is on file at the Library of Congress, or you can go to R.V. Bay. They got good information. Be careful with some of the forms. It's not a knock against R.V. Bay. Just be careful with some of the forms. They tell you their site is for educational and informational purposes as well. You are supposed to study. They're providing you with study material. I'm providing you with study material. It's what we do. Uplift fallen humanity. Change your literature. Change the people. All right? And also, you're going to look into your United States Bill of Rights, all right? Specifically, Amendments 1 through 7. Amendment number 1 is the freedom of speech and religion, all right? So if you freely choose in your spiritual capacity how your law or what the law should be doing and how it pertains to you, then you're going to be getting far more remedy and relief where it pertains to your rights as a person just doing business here. You dig? All right, so let's talk about some 5-element theory in less than 5 minutes. Ooh, this should be interesting. All right, now we have 5 principles, and so 5-element theory seems to just harmonize with that. Okay, 5 tenets: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Love at the top. Truth, peace, freedom, justice. All right, the 5-element theory: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. All right, now based on the 5-element theory, we have in traditional Chinese medicine or traditional Asiatic medicine, what I like to call it as, what we've done is we've incorporated or identified elements to go with these things. All right, like, you know, fire would be represented by the heart and the small intestine. Earth is represented by the spleen and the stomach. The lung and large intestine represents the metal. Okay, the kidneys and bladder represent the water, and the liver and gallbladder represent the wood. Okay, now heart and small intestine are always doing things that involve burning up of calories. All right, energy is always going on. The heart is pumped by electricity. If the electricity is low, then the heart can't work at its optimum efficiency. All right, the small intestine burns up fats, all right, and it absorbs nutrients such as vitamin A, D, E, and K, and it sends those over to the liver, but we'll talk about that later on. All right, the earth is represented by the spleen and stomach because it's the granary. It is considered the granary. Grains come out of the earth. You eat, or we should be eating, plant matter. Okay, and in that plant matter, like, you know, for our carnivorous brothers and sisters, all right, no judgments, no criticisms. All right, we're supposed to be eating, even still, you're supposed to be eating the flesh of an animal that eats from a fruit-bearing tree, as prescribed by your holy book, the Bible, and most carnivorous consumers' spirituality, you know. So at least eat, you know, and eat your meat with plenty of grains. All right, so your quinoa, your short brown rice, so on and so forth. Your lungs and large intestine represent the metal element, okay, because they are pure elements. All right, oxygen, hydrogen, it's always, the lungs are always just taking in oxygen and hydrogen. All right, and oxygen and hydrogen propel. When they're combined, they propel energy. That's what happens to your red blood cells. The oxygenated blood that houses a negative charge keeps cells of like charge repelling each other, so it's easier for them to flow through the heart. You see how those things relate. All right, that's why the heart is governing what direction those oxygenated blood cells are going in. All right, the kidneys and the bladder represent the water. Okay, now that's obvious, but you're supposed to be drinking water, okay, not water mixed with a lot of sugar and dyes that you've never even heard of. Okay, those chemicals affect your kidneys and they affect your liver. Okay, because those sugars they're preservatives, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to preserve your body from doing what? From doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, your body is always, you know, like, you're always giving birth to new cells. That means you also have to let old cells die. Okay, apoptosis, that's what cellular death is, apoptosis. Okay, so, and that's what the liver and gallbladder are doing. They provide bile, so that way those blood cells, all right, well, the liver and gallbladder represent the tree. The liver is the only organ that can regenerate itself, just like seeds and plants do. You cut off a limb, what happens? The limb keeps on growing. That's what real life is supposed to do. Okay, so, and real quick on the sensory organs before my time is up, I just want you to be familiar that your heart and small intestine representing the fire is indicated in the tongue. So if your tongue is like a pale looking color, that's not good. It says that you need a little bit better, you need a better quality of blood, and you're going to produce better quality of blood from what you consume or put in your mouth, represented by the small intestine, the spleen and stomach's earth. Okay, that's how food gets into the spleen and stomach. It goes through the mouth. Lungs and large intestine are indicated by the nose. The nose takes in the oxygen, and the kidneys process it. The kidneys release, or tell the body to release all of its carbonated oxygen. All right, and the eyes represent the liver. Strong eyes seek love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I, self, law, and master, Peace.